I will say this to you. Let me correct myself. I don't want to see the game end like that either. But we're not going to get on JB about it like he did something wrong by pointing that out. It was clearly a foul. He was tripped, Big Perk, and it was the end of regulation, and Asura Thompson could have went to the free throw line and won the game. You certainly don't want to win the game on that play, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. The fact of the matter is it did happen. That was a foul. It should have been called, and as a result, Detroit would have been in a position to win the game. Now, nobody's making excuses for Detroit. You were up 15 points by 15 points in the first half. You were up 9 with 3 minutes left. You should not have lost this game. There never should have been an overtime. All of that is true, and I get that part. But still in all, the game has to be played. And in the process of the game being played, that was clearly a foul. It should have been called. It wasn't called. And considering the age of technology, the fact that calls are checked and double checked and stuff like that, and Tony Brothers didn't make that call, that was kind of egregious. I mean, it's an incredibly important thing. Now you're the Detroit Pistons. Instead of going to the free throw line and closing the game out because that's a game you should have won and you didn't, now you're down 3-2 having to go.
So I'm back. So got to talk about the Pistons Cavaliers matchup. I know I'm kind of late after the game 5, but today is game 6, so I might as well talk about it all together right now. So first thing getting right into I want to talk about is obvious. You see from the title, did the Pistons choke game 5 or did they get cheated? So going back and looking at the game, it's been controversial. Of course, you got the Cavaliers fans or Pistons haters basically ignoring the fouls at the end, saying that didn't decide the game, toughen up, bringing up other calls throughout the game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Which, like I said, is disingenuous. I feel like the Pistons personally got cheated. Usually I am on the side of you shouldn't have blown the lead, which the Pistons shouldn't. It's not all. Of course, we know the obvious that it shouldn't have came to that. Like people keep saying, I obviously know the Pistons was up almost 20. I think believing going into for sure this first half they was up almost by 20, but I think even in the fourth quarter they was up by at least 10 from what I remember. So they definitely blew the lead, definitely choked. So I do give the Cavaliers credit for that, and I do understand that. The problem is this, like I always say, we can't always go by that because this is professional sports, especially the playoffs. Every game is not going to be a blowout. Because basically what you're saying is that, well, you should have blew the team out so it wouldn't be left up to the refs. That sounds good in theory, but we know that throughout all the sports, there's going to be close games. Every game can't be a blowout. You can't expect for a team to always win by 10 just to avoid the refs. That's what overtime is for. Like these is common things. It's not like overtime or close games is uncommon. So knowing that you can't really put that on the team. So it really is on the refs to make the right decision in these close games because there will be close games and it's up to the ref to make sure that these close games is decided right. My main problem, because everybody focusing on the Thompson foul, which it was. My problem is that right before that, the Evan Mobley, when he got fouled, that was to me just as bad because it was a ticky-tack foul. Yeah, he got hit, but he still had control of the ball and it was late. So I think I'm going to either put it in the, because I'm making this video all at once, but I'm either going to put the clip right here or y'all should have seen the clip in the beginning. Like, it was a ticky-tack foul. He didn't lose the ball. It didn't affect the play. Like, you supposed to just play on. And that gave him 2 free throws, which I believe tied it up. That should have never been called, especially if you're not going to call the Thompson foul. And that's what the problem is, that how do you call that foul but not call the Thompson foul? When that was way more obvious foul. And it happened directly in front of the ref. So that's what my real problem is. Like, okay, y'all just called a ticky-tack foul that helped the Cavs tie it. Then y'all don't call the obvious foul. So it's like the Pistons got messed up in 2 ways. I would have been okay if you didn't call the Evan Mobley foul and the Cavs would have actually had to score a bucket to tie it. But if you're gonna call the Evan Mobley ticky tack foul, you need to be calling this ticky tack foul, and that wasn't even a ticky tack foul. This is something that's always called. He obviously tripped him, looked like he pushed him in the back. So it's like we see that call all of the time. So it's like, how do you not call that? And then he only had to make the game was over. Like this is the last play of the game. All he had to do was make one free throw and the Pistons win. I'm not sure how good of a free throw shooter Thompson is. We know he's not known as a shooter or a scorer, so I know it's not automatic like it's Steph Curry at the line, but I believe that he could have made one. He might not have made both, but he could have at least made one for sure. So he's a career 60% free throw shooter, which we know is bad by like shooters, like good standards. We know the top of the list is Steve Nash, Dirk, and them shoot 90, Steph Curry, but that's not realistic. We know most good free throw shooters is in between the 75 to 85% range. Like, like that's like the Shays, the Kobe, the James Harden, like like that's what great free throw shooters shoot between 75 and 85. 60%, that's good for a center. Like if you a center, 60% is good, but like as a guard, that type of player is really not, like it's really not great free throw shooting, but 60% is still what 6 out of 10. You take 10 free throw shots, you're gonna make six. So that's still better than half. So that means that it's still a high chance that he would have made at least one free throw. So that's why it was messed up for real. Like like I said, it should have been called. Like it was the obvious call, and then it's always lead back to Detroit. It's like Detroit always get cheated. The Lions, stay getting cheated. But now the Pistons, I just don't understand it. It's like the league just don't like Detroit teams. And that's why people got to respect Detroit teams when they do win, like the '04 Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, is that like Detroit teams got to win in spite of not being liked for whatever reason. Guess could the league think like, oh, Detroit is not a popular team or like it's gonna be bad for ratings, maybe. I don't know if that's the reason, but it's still messed up all around. Because I know people gonna say, well, Cleveland, why would they want Cleveland? But Cleveland's still kind of more known than the Pistons because of the whole LeBron era that really like made a lot of people Cavs fans. Then you got to think that the Cavs got James Harden, who is a superstar, Donovan Mitchell with the whole Coco Jones thing. So I can see them wanting the Cavs to be in the finals or the conference finals more than the Pistons is. Like they could feel like the Cavs still got more star power. So I don't know if that's the reason, but it was a terrible call. The Pistons, they should have won. Like I don't care what nobody say. He should have at least got a chance to shoot the two free throws. Like I said, the Evan Mobley foul, that should not have been called. That was a terrible foul. Like, it's just unfortunate because getting into now game 6. I remember my previous video, I predicted this to go 7. I've seen a 7-game series. So the way it's shaping up, it should be that way because it's looking like nobody can win on the road. The Pistons should have won this game. The Cavs probably would have won tonight. And then they would have won in 7 like I predicted. I predicted them winning in 7 because it would be in Detroit. Then I don't see the Cavs being able to overcome the home crowd in Detroit, just like with the Magic. So now with this unfortunate situation happening, then like I said, I get the Pistons was up almost by 20. No way they should have let him come back. I totally understand that this is in part on the Pistons, but it should they should still be up 3-2. Um, Getting into tonight's game. So now tonight's game, unfortunately, I believe the Pistons can win. I want them to win, but if I have a gun to my head, if I'm betting on FanDuel, it makes sense to pick the Cavs right now because they're at home, and I'm predicting how it's been looking. The home team been winning. Like I think Kenyon Martin just said the Cavs and Detroit only have won one road game each. And with the Cavs shouldn't even have won this one. Now, it's not that's why it's not over. The Pistons did just come back from it was 3-1, right? Yeah, 3-1 against the Magic. They did have to win on the road. They was down 20 and came back. So it's like this is a team that just showed that you gonna have to kill them, that they do have resilience, that they can come out and win this game. It's not completely over. They just showed that last series come back from 3-1. They can play with their back against the wall. That's what Detroit really about, being gritty. So they do have a good chance of winning this game. It's just the problems is that, like I said in the Orlando series, is that the Pistons just don't have enough offensive firepower. And with Duncan out, it's still surprising that they could have won that game because then they ain't had no shooting. It's like, Durham is their second best player, averaged almost 20. He barely getting 10 points. So it's like everything is on Cade. And shout out to Cade for balling despite the turnovers. And you got to understand the turnovers because he got to do so much getting double team. He's trying to overcompensate, but he's still been making clutch shots. He made some clutch shots in the previous game. At the buzzer, he hit a big time three. Like Cade been doing all that he can, and he deserves the most respect. But it's just like he don't have no help. Shout out to Thompson. He's not a scorer, but he's good at being defensive. That good strip on Donovan Mitchell. Some people think it's a foul. That was a good strip. But I need Thompson he has to lock up Donovan Mitchell or James Harden. He needs to stick to one for the game and take them out the game. That's the Pistons' best shot at winning for real. He has to be that dominant, and then there's just not enough offense for the Pistons, and they just go possessions. It's easy for them to go possessions without scoring. That's why the Cavs came back, because they can go on the cold streak. You just stop Cade, and then nobody else can create their own shot. So that problem is still there. It still scares me in the end. That's why it's hard for me to pick the Pistons to win at all, because I'm like, at some point, they lack of scoring is gonna hinder them for real, and they just all trying to play off of energy. We know that's not always gonna work. So that's the downside. So going into this game 6, like I said, the Cavs also got the momentum. It's just that it's hard to see the Pistons losing what would be 4 games in a row. Like that's crazy. Like the Pistons to lose 4 games in a row. But they have to get it up. Like they've been letting James Harden for the first time ever. The first 2 games he was looking like the normal James Harden, but over the past 3 games, he been playing better than he ever played in the playoffs. So, Pistons, y'all can't allow that being a defensive team. That's why I said Thompson need to lock James Harden up, because I don't believe that he just changed overnight. It's still in him. But James Harden is a front runner, like a lot of players, to where if they winning and he feeling good, that's when he succeed. Like he need to be locked up, miss a couple shots, and take away his enthusiasm. That's where you will get the choking James Harden. And I don't know what they let Donovan Mitchell go for the record or tie the record, dropping what it was it like 40 or 38, 39 in the second half after having 2 or 4 points in the first half. Like, how do you let somebody do that? And y'all supposed to be a defensive team. Like that's where the problem really comes at the Pistons, is that Thompson, like you should have at some point locked him up. Um, or something. Like, ain't no way on the Pistons type gritty team, y'all should let somebody score 40 points in the second half. Like, it's just crazy. So, I don't know. It's not looking good. It's still a chance. Like I said, I wouldn't be, shocked if the Pistons won tonight. But like I said, if I had to put my money on it, I'm gonna go with the Cavs. And then the Pistons got a big decision this offseason, with Durham contract, and then they definitely got to get a score for sure. But we'll see tonight. I'll definitely be back after the game and talk about what didn't happen. This is it for the Pistons. Y'all gonna have to step up and grab the momentum, or it's bye bye. Good night, and I'm out.